Scale Insights continues to improve and adapt their software, which is why we use it for all of our accounts. And I'm gonna dive into one very simple way that they've improved our tool lately that makes our lives easier.
Hey, I'm Lucas Kwiatkowski, founder of Nomads, hands-on and advanced PPC. And I'm going to dive right into Scale Insights today and just keep this a super quick, simple analysis video on something that was maybe wrong with their tool in the past, but they made it a lot cleaner and easier to analyze. It's parent ASIN data. Super simple. So still, one of the hardest parts of our job is analyzing child ASINs and parent ASINs, right? Because maybe a lot of other companies will set up catch-all campaigns. They'll treat every child ASIN differently. I know we just signed on a client that has 1,000 child ASIN, and it's going to take us some time to really dive in to figure out what to do with all 1,000 of them. And there's no way we're going to spend equally on every one of them. So what's more important is that we see what's going on with the parent ASIN. Okay, so I have an account pulled up here, and you'll see this is how it used to default in Scale Insights, right? And it still does. It's the child ASIN data. So you go down here, you say, okay, this is my best seller. This is what it's done. And people freak out because they say, oh, this one child isn't working well, right? It's losing us money. And our question to them is always, okay, this one child may be breaking even, maybe a loss leader, right? A loss leader is something that a lot of big companies do. Let's look at the parent ASIN. Okay, so now we can just come to this parent ASIN, and I can drop down here, and I can see within this parent ASIN, oh yeah, this one child is spending 66,000 of the 68,000 in spend. So obviously it's going to influence the results, right? But we have this one over here. So that loss leader, which it is for us, is really isn't making that much in profits. But these other two sizes are barely spending anything and making way more in profit. So you have to look at the bigger picture here, because unfortunately, if we do lower the spend for this child ASIN, the whole parent ASIN will suffer. So if you're a brand owner, remember to look at the big picture in the parent ASIN. If you're a PPC manager, right, and you're managing some other accounts and your clients are constantly asking you about that one child, try to give them this sort of data. Look at everything holistically, right? So now we can go through here. If I minimize that, I can go over to this parent, click on this calculator here, and this shows me the parent ASIN week over week for the year, right? So we started the year in about 20K a week, and now we're at 31K. And the profits continue to go up. Now, I'm sure if I go over to this child ASIN, I'm going to be able to see that that's not the case, right? So I'm going to pop over here, and I want to look year to date. Sorry about that. Let me just get my date range back up. So I went this year. Okay, and now I want to see what the biggest child ASIN is doing. So we saw as a whole, the parent ASIN was improving month over month, right? And this child ASIN, it was losing money in the beginning of the year. I remember that as a whole, the listing was making money, but it's slowly gone up over time. And even though it's only profiting $1,600 a week, as a whole, the listing is fine. And more importantly, if we dial this down with PPC, we're going to get fewer clicks, we're going to get fewer ad conversions, and those other sizes that are making profit is because they're more expensive. So if we push those to the front of the page, right, they're not at the right price point, they're not going to get quite the clicks that we want. So if you're a Scale Insights user, use this parent ASIN data to your advantage. If you're a PPC manager and you maybe don't have access to this, try to pull this sort of data and say, hey guys, yeah, the parent is struggling a little bit, but this child is doing all the work and the other childs are actually profiting.